Hey guys, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Let's see if I have a game we can go over. Hold on. This one's interesting. I actually won here, so we'll take a look at this. It's 14 moves. So I played d4, d4, e6, bishop f, d6, knight f3, knight c6, e3, e7, c3, and then knight f6. And so he's keeping up with he's keeping up with development with me. I played d3, and he played knight queen d. And I played knight bd2. Now I'm fully developed except for my queen. He plays e5 here, and I played bishop back, because if I take, knight takes back, he has a 3 stack there, which I actually lose a piece here, and then bishop takes, and I'd be down a whole piece. So I really can't do that. I have to just retreat. And if you're wondering why doesn't he push, I actually win a piece here because knight takes, I mean not a piece but a pawn, and still I'd be up a whole pawn in that line. So I played knight takes. You could actually at this point play e takes, then after castles. You'd have to play bishop in here trying to take scope on this, and if rook comes over, so maybe bishop here to double attack there, and if rook there, then castle queenside. Hey, how you doing? And this might be a playable idea. And you could push and try to get a knight in there, but I don't know. Bishop here, knight in, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. So you'd be up a whole, and then maybe attacking here. But then we have a smackdown there. So, but this is what I played here. He took and took. He played, and that was a mistake. I want to see what you think the best move is at this moment. Let me see. I hope this is right. Let's see. Alright. He played here. What's the best move at this point? Actually, I'm sorry, after this, and he plays there. Sorry, what's the best move at this point? I had to get it set, queued to the right spot. What would you play here as white? and then we'll go into Morphe's game. This is actually this is a game I played about 4 months ago. I'm giving the reins to you. You're white. Bishop b5. And you are 100% right, and my opponent at this point resigned. Okay, we'll do the Morphe, and then we'll get into our puzzles. a4, a5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c3. So it's the Italian game. Oh, the Italian game. Wow, it's named after the guy. So this is a gambit named after the player is black. Interesting. Knight f3. The funny thing is we play all these openings, and sometimes we forget that, sometimes we forget that a lot of the players that did these openings also played chess too. We kind of make them into these demigods, like, but they actually played chess too. That was the thing that Yaz or Jennifer. It was, I forgot if it was at the Tournament of the Kings, the showdown, that they said, and Maurice, they talked about, Yaz or Jennifer and Maurice said that they should have a Fabi and Magnus and some of those modern, some of the players from today have their own openings that they find the subtle nuances to, the kind of newer moves. They're wondering when they're gonna have. It was the big joke about that. When are they gonna have the Fabi or Magnus Carlsen opening, like the Rubinstein and the Steinitz variation and all those? When are they gonna have a Magnus Carlsen and Fabi or a Nakamura kind of opening? I think pretty soon, because they have those. I always forget the name. It's what's the name for a new move? I always forget. I forget the name. There's a word for a new move that they always say that oh. Drat, I can't remember. I'll probably remember it. There's a word in chess that means new move. The wow, that is some pretty big attack there. He takes novelty. Yep, I always forget that for some reason. I don't know why. I guess it's not a common word that I'm used to, and I gotta put that in my repertoire of words, and then I will remember it. They're saying that pretty soon some of the novelties that these super grandmasters come up with nowadays, that they'll be able to name them after the players. They actually use them. They find these novelties with in chess. I mean, not chess, but the chess engines. That's what I mean. And so I guess they could say that they can name them after the player, but I think they'd probably have to name it after maybe the engine that kind of stumbled upon it too. So Morphe even played blunder here. Interesting. And c6. Another blunder of a move, or a mistake slightly. So takes. Queen check. Takes. Queen takes. And then now, if the king takes, which he does, you guys spot the tactic. Hello. Remember me? And then you grab the rook. He takes, which is dubious. Again, man, another dubious move. Knight f. I mean, king f6. This covers here, and he gets out of a pin. So b4. This is to stop a4, so that he can just take at that point. Also, this allows for bishop check to be coming in with some pretty massive of an attack. The king would have to give way at this point. The king would have to give way, and when the king does, the knight comes out, and then you bring your knight out via that way. So if the bishop comes here, the knight can get out. e6. This is actually the best move here. And the king can't come here, here, here. He only has two spots to go to, these two, and so if he comes here, it'd be a check, so he's not going to do that. He'll come right here. The bishop still covers this spot, so it's not like the knight's going to be coming out anytime soon, but potentially there's a chance that via rook e to a, and we're potentially maybe even going to sack back the exchange and play it up this way. Rook e1 was played. Bishop g8. b3. So he wants to try to get g6 and then bishop g7 to get his knight back. But if the bishop pawn ever went like that, we can actually just grab it. So king g5, e5, king h6. Bishop c1 starts unstoppable mating combination, g5, and I think bishop, rook. There's two takes. This one sets up for a discovery that whatever he does, he can actually take here. So if the bishop plays there trying to win back the knight, let's see, how can we handle that? I'm trying to figure out what would be a good move here. Maybe we just take the rook, and then that's, oh, it's mate. Surprisingly, that's only check. Oh, I see why, because if we played here, that's mate. That's mate. Okay, so we solved it. Are you ready for some tactics? Are you ready for tactics? Is that a yes? Yes, alright. Perfect. Tactic time. Let's get started. Let's get this party started. Oh yeah. Oh, looks familiar to you too. I think we went over this one before. Because he's one move away from mate on D1. So there is. There is a one move that potentially candidate move E3 check is one. I think that's the candidate move that I'm kind of looking at this moment. Because his idea, our opponent is one move away from mate. Queen D1 for our opponent would be mate. So we have to be fast with our attack. And oh, wait a second. I think I'm kind of getting an understanding here. Something's telling me that potentially it's either F3 or F4 could be potential candidate moves too. So F3 or F4 or Queen E3 check. Yeah, that's why I'm looking at potentially squares for our king to go to. I think I remember we missed it. It was either F3 or F4 that we played last time. So if we go Queen E3 check, he can actually play C5. He could actually play pawn C5 after that move. And I'm thinking that maybe F3 at that point might be a no, because he would actually no. I think we'd still be okay in that line because the rook's there and it protects. I'm thinking that maybe Queen E5, or sorry, Queen E3. That's what I mean. Queen E3 check, c5, f3, queen d1, queen d1 check, and then king to f2 might be actually a playable move. I'm trying to remember. I think that is the move that our opponent played. Does that kind of jog any solutions? Do you kind of remember the somewhat of the solutions that's similar to that? Because the reason we go queen e3 is it does cover a lot of spare. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to remember. The reason I was thinking about queen e3 check is it covers the g1 the g1 to h7 g1 to h7 diagonal. That covers the g1 to h7 diagonal, which allows our king to flee. I forgot to put an E on, or an R on the end, but I need to I'll fix that because I want to make sure it's grammatically correct. Okay, there we go. I have to put S because there we go. I'm thinking, let's see. Let's give it a try. We got that right so far. Now I have to figure out what is it, F3 or F4? You kind of got an idea at all? Like, which one do you think it is? Do you think it's F3 or F4? I'm kind of curious. What do you think? Yeah. Let's see here. That's what I was actually thinking was f3, but trying to see if we're missing anything. He doesn't have any checkmates. Once we get our king to f2, we're basically safe. Yeah, I'm thinking it's f3. Ah, so it's f4? No? Oh, drat. So close. I can't believe it. It's reacting. It's actually this. Oh. Oh, because we're up to. Oh, again, I was materialistic. I tried to save our rook. But, oh. We were so close. We almost had that one. We got closer that time. So, with here, f3. Let's see, what's wrong with this? Queen b1. Oh, drat, I forgot that he can actually do that and then mate us. I always forget about the F move here. And if it takes, drat, we have to remember this move here, because we will get it again. We will get this move again. After here, we have to remember c3. c3 is the queen c3 is the move that actually wins on the spot. Queen c3. Yeah, it's actually threatening mate. I have to keep that in remembrance, that we're actually 2 moves away from mate. He has to take. He doesn't have time not to. If he checks and then we go king d2, he actually has to go up to f5 to hold this pawn. And then queen e3 would be a playable move at that point. And then now we have a potential rook e1, and there's no way that he could try bishop, but the only problem is we have b2 at that point, or b3, and there's no more entry points, and he's basically toast. This is covered. There's no more checks. That pawn stops the queen from coming there. So okay, gotta remember. We gotta remember this, that after c5 we have to remember queen c3 threatens mate in 2 on c5 if he tries to go after our rook. Gotta remember that. Okay, dokie. We had the right idea, just we gotta remember queen c3. Hmm. Okay, d takes there. Excuse me. Let's see here. I'm thinking that has to be the move. That's the only move that makes sense. Yeah, I'm thinking that that's the only move that makes sense here. That's it. Good find. Nice. This one is, I think we've had this one. King C7. King C7. G5. Then we have F5. G6. Check. And F takes G6 mate. Oh. That's interesting. I have to take a look at that. 1 second. Excuse me. Let's see here. Oh, okay. He can take here, drat. I was hoping that he'd push onward that we'd get mate, but I forgot he can actually take here. Ah, drat. He can actually take at that point. And then it's a draw at that point. It's a draw. Snap. Not that. You have to take away from the center. Because we have to play F5 at that point. And then when he plays there, then we get our two connectors. He has to come here. We come there. He comes up. We come up. And then we win. I forgot that we had a pawn there. That's my fault. I think that a lot of people forget that, and that's why it's 14%. That was my fault there. A lot of players do. It's like, eh. If only that pawn wasn't there, that would actually have worked. But it was there, and so drat. He could actually take, and it's a draw. I realized that one move too late. I have to be on the lookout for all that. Let's see, rook takes f8. So let's take a look at that. Rook takes f8. Bishop takes f8. Yeah. Oh, b4. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that does handle that, doesn't it? Yeah, I think this is not right. I think yours is right. I think b4 and queen. Let's see, what's their best move? Oh, rook takes h8. Queen takes queen takes h8. Oops. h8 check. king b7, and then after so he's gonna have to actually move his queen. He can't risk with that check. He'd lose his queen at that point. Yeah. Nice work. That was a good find there. Let me get a drink of water. One second. Boy. Okay, dokie. Candidate. Yeah, F2 is a candidate move for sure. But then you have to calculate in actually I'm looking at potentially, oh yeah, I guess well, we have to be careful. If F2, he has queen E8. Yeah. So I'm thinking that potentially queen to E2 might be the first move. Queen E2. Queen E2. Queen E2. Queen takes E2. F takes E2. If king D2, rook F1. I think that is the, well, hold on, does he still have perpetual? I don't think so. His best move, if queen E2, queen E2 check. Let's see if queen A1 check. Nope, so I gotta take out the check there. Queen A1 check. Or A8. That's right, A8. King H7, Queen E4, and we actually win at that point. We'd play Queen takes E4 at that point, so he really can't do anything. So, what did I? Huh. Puzzling. Let's see, what did I see here? Here. If king up there, then rook F1. Rook E1. Okay, king D2 and then takes. Okay. So by pushing and checking up here and then check king G6, here he can't stop the queening. And if he tries to at this point block our queen, we actually may, okay, it's a double threat. The double threat is pushing the queen or taking the rook, and there's no way to stop that. Okay, drat. That's not fun. We can't play? Oh, that's right. It would be mate there. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Okay, we need to. We'll settle down here and we'll calculate our moves to make sure we get it right. Let's see here. We gotta look for some candidate moves. Okay. First candidate move, knight takes e6. Or rook takes e6. Those are the two candidate moves that I was looking at. So you're thinking bishop a3? Interesting. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think here. Just give me a sec. See, yeah. Trying to see if we can't make. Oh, I have it. I got it. Knight takes e6. Knight takes e6. b2. Knight g5. Knight g5. Check. King d8. King d8. And then bishop a3. Check. And we pick up the pawn after the king moves. When the king moves to d8, king goes to d8, we play bishop takes b2. What do you think about that idea? Ooh, okay. Yikes. Okay. Boy. I'm thinking potentially candidate moves are rook takes e4 or rook takes d5, but I'm not sure. Because I'm thinking that rook takes e4 if b1, if b2, rook e1, and I think we hold the positioning there. And even if we lose our knight, we're still up a whole bishop. We have to sometimes sack material down. We'll lose our, if we do that, if bishop a3 right now, he has king takes f6. Does that win our and because what I'm trying to think, what I'm thinking here is my idea is rook takes e4, if b2, rook e1, if rook b8, trying to push the pawn onward. We have knight takes g5 check. And then we can actually push our pawn on through. This one's a tough one. What are you thinking, Morphe? Yeah, if he goes knight takes g5 check, and he has rook takes g5. Oh, wait a second. We can't go e4. My bad. Sorry. We can't do e4. Rook takes e4. Sorry, that's a bad move. Because d takes e5. Yeah, we're kinda stuck with the bishop move. Oh, we could play rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. That might be an idea. Rook takes d5. Rook b8. Rook b8. Knight takes g5 check. King g6. Excuse me. With my hiccup there. King g king g6. Rook or f7. as an idea after that. F7. If king takes g5, we'll play f8 equals queen. Rook takes f8. Bishop takes f8. What do you think about that line? Let's give her a try. Really? Not that? Okay. Nope. Okay. I think you're right in that. Excuse me. Pardon me. A little tickle there. Okay. I'm thinking about there's a couple candidate moves. Bishop takes c2. Or let me see, what was the other one I was looking at? Knight takes c2. That was the other one. He has smart. He has rook a4 at that point. I think you're one move too far ahead. I'm thinking it might be uh, d5 first. If we were to do it, d5, and that it might be d5 first, and then we could go knight b4, knight b4, or knight b5, and we win the rook. You have to go d5 first, then the knight move. Oh, I see what you're saying. It does win a piece, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. That does potentially win a piece. We have to be careful, though, that we don't get mated, because if we go down this line here, I know kind of what you're thinking here is this, and then after rook a4, queen takes c2, check. And king would have to go only one spot, e2, e1, king e1. We have queen takes h2, rook a8, check. Rook has to block g8. Queen d4, check. E5, f takes e5. Queen takes e5. So I think we're still okay in that line. We'd be winning our rook back, and I don't know. Do we want to just straight out win the rook back? I'm kind of liking the more direct bishop takes c2. Excuse me. Bishop takes c2. That if rook takes c2, because we're threatening mate. Queen takes c2, check. King has to go to e1. And then we play queen takes h2. Queen takes h2. There is a potential if bishop takes c2, queen e1, queen e1, queen e1. Yeah, but yeah. Then he has king e3. He has king e3 at that point. Well, I guess we could. I guess. Well, maybe not king e3. Maybe queen to c1. Queen c1. Queen c1. Trying to see if potentially d5 doesn't work, but I think if we go d5, he's got knight d4. And that covers b5, so we don't really have a knight attack anymore. But so what do you think about knight b5 though? Have you calculated knight b5? Oh, smart in that line. This would actually win. Bishop takes b3. Bishop takes b3 would win in that line. You'd be up a whole piece at that point. It'd be basically we'd slightly be better. What do you think about knight b5 and this line right here? What do you think about that line? What do you think about that line? Alright. Let's try this line. Nope. Okay. Oh, that was a threaded mate there. This right here, I don't know if there's a way. I don't know if there's a way to stop mate. Queen e2 would be forced. Knight g here. King e3. Queen takes. King takes. And knight takes. Okay. Me neither. I did not see that. The best thing to do is, if you don't know, just try your best and try to find the best move that you can. So I'm looking at knight e2, knight e2. What do you think about that? That covers 92. 92 covers. G3 check by the queen. It covers G3 check by the queen. Oh, I'll have to put the queen in there. So knight E2, rook takes E2, queen takes E2, queen G3, check, and king to king F1, and and everything's good at that point. I really don't see really anything you can do. I think that so are we on the right track then? Yeah, let's go with it. I think we have to take with the H pawn, if I'm not mistaken. We're up a whole exchange in that line. We're up a whole piece in that line, a whole rook. And I think we would be able just to, I think we'd be able just to hold. See, my only concern in this line is here. If H takes G4, rook takes G4, F takes G4, queen takes G4, check, king king F1 maybe at that point. I'm thinking we're forced to take here. We're forced at that point. And let's see if our line plays out. So knight here, pawn takes, if rook takes, queen takes, oh, king F2, okay. And then if rook takes, queen takes, check, and then king F1, okay, and we're up, alright. So we did have the right line, perfect. Oh, we'll go over that. We'll go back over that one line. I should have went over that one line to show you that we're actually ultimately winning still in that line. There's no way after rook, after king F1, we can reroute all of our pieces and win. Just take a little bit of time to get our pieces involved and we would win. But we should go over that anyways. That'd be a good thing to do. We gotta be careful. See, his idea is to go queen h3, then queen to g2 mate. That's his idea. h3, queen g2 mate. Boy, this is a tough one. What are we missing here? So close. But that doesn't win anything though. We don't have enough. Yeah. It's nothing against you. It's just I'm really working hard. I'm trying to calculate this. I can't see it. What are we missing? There's something that we're not. I'm looking at a covering move, which is queen d4 could potentially be a candidate move. Queen d4 could potentially be a candidate move. Oh, I think I got it. Queen e7. Queen e7 is, I think, the... No, queen e7 doesn't work. Because he can go... queen e7's a fail. Queen d4 is a fail. Drat. I only see really rook takes f3, but rook takes f3, and then king to G2, but I don't think that's right. No, see, queen e7 fails to queen to h3. Oh, well then it does work. Okay. Yeah, okay, so we got it. I have to take that a little bit one step further. We got it though. So all that matters is we're getting it. And at the end, we're up a whole exchange in that line too. And it's my kitty, if you can hear it in the background, going meow. Let's see here. Candidate moves are bishop takes e5. I think. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that might not be bad. Bishop takes c6. Um, if rook takes c6, bishop takes e5. Rook takes f1. Rook takes f1. Bishop takes e2. Queen takes e2. I think we trade down. I think we're actually I don't know if we're winning in that line. Hey, how you doing? Let's see, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, bishop takes. we might have knight g4. Knight g4 might not be a bad idea. Knight takes g4, check. H takes g4. If queen takes g4, we win the bishop. So he would have to reimplant his knight there, so that wouldn't work. Do you have any other kind of lines to look at? Do you have a line for bishop takes c6 that maybe am I missing a line of an attack? Okay, bishop takes. Let's see here. Bishop takes e6, bishop takes c. Our pawn takes c6, bishop takes e5. Bishop takes c there. I think I think we have a calculation. I think slight notation. Let me see. I want to make sure we have this right. Let me see. So you're saying bishop takes. With a knight on e3. Because I'm looking after e2. Okay, let me see here. So bishop takes, pawn takes, e takes, bishop takes e2. Where is, I don't see the bishop f8 though. Where's bishop f8? Do you mean bishop queen takes e2? Or how does that work? Because I think I don't really because after black takes on e2, you have bishop takes f8. But is it? Oh, it's rook takes f8. Rook takes f8. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. I now see which one it was. Hold on, I'll make the changes. Rook takes f8. Rook takes and rook takes f8 check. Rook takes f8. So f8, rook f1, gotcha. So far so good. Rook takes f1. But I don't know if... See, I think we don't have any... Well, let me see here. Rook takes f1. Nope, it'd be knight. Knight takes f1 at that point. But I think then bishop would take f1 at that point, though. Bishop, it's not check. Bishop take f1. I think we'd be down material on that line. Let's give that a go. I have a question about that one. What is the difference with here? Oh, I see why the king's over here. Okay. Actually, the difference now is when he moves over here. The reason this fails now is, let me see here, because if takes here, we can actually, take, king takes, rook takes, and we're up material on that line. Okay, yeah, snap. Because before, if we did it without doing that, he could actually play b takes c, bishop takes, rook takes f1, and knight would have to take, and it would be we'd still be okay after takes here, but let me see here. If we took here, what's their best? So b takes c. Oh, rook takes. So it's it's queen takes c, bishop takes, bishop takes, rook takes, and then bishop takes, and there's no check at this point. He's got a check here. That's the whole thing. It's we take with check. That's the whole idea. That's why this whole line works after here. It's because we're still gonna be taking here. After we take here, even though he takes, we'll say right here, Now we take the bishop would check, but beforehand, when the king was right here, even though we took, he has the in-between move check on f7. When the king was here, he has the check move. Even though we took here, he has the in-between move check, and then the queen. Actually, sorry, not the rook takes. I apologize. Queen would take in this line. This is actually the more this is the best line in the lot. But now we can actually take here, and he's in check, and then we can pick up the rook, and he doesn't have this in between f2. Yeah, he doesn't have the f2 move check. But when the king, if the king was on g8, f2 could be played. Therefore, it would be a potential perpetual close to actually almost a win. It would be very close to a win almost. So I think we'd still be okay here, but drat. I kind of see now how that move, why that move was played. It was all based on the pin of the bishop, the G bishop to the king. When we take, it's check at that point, G7, and he has to take back. Then we can play rook takes. So we're up a whole piece in that line. Drat. Not fun. Oh, I got it. The first move is g4. G4. When the bishop goes to g6, we play h4. When the queen goes to f6, we play h5. Not g5. What? How did I get g5? I wanted h5. And the bishop's trapped. The bishop's trapped at that point. What do you guys think about that? g4, bishop g6, h4, queen, well, maybe queen h6 at that point. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't work. Let me see. I gotta check one more move sequence out. I think he can hold with no, his oh, the queen would be trapped. And if he went queen h6, we have g5 and the queen's trapped. So it does work. If he goes back to e7, we play h5 and we win the bishop. So either way, yeah, I'm trying to get a little better with my calculation there. Oh, we almost have a fork potential here. That would be nice. Hmm. See, rook takes c8, rotates c8, rotates there. Let's see, rook takes c8, check, rook takes c8. Then we have d7. King takes d7. Then bishop g4. If f5, bishop takes, f5, check still. So this would be check. And then if rook takes c8, if king takes c8, which would be a mistake, rook takes e8, check, and we pick up the rook in the corner. So I'm thinking that that's the move. What do you guys think about that? I'm thinking it's rook takes c8, check here, and then we win either way. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Yeah, we actually are up a whole knight in that line. We're up a whole knight in that line. Our whole exchange, at least. Because if king c7, bishop takes c8, king takes c8, and then rook takes e8. Rook takes e8, and we're up a whole rook at that point. We're up a whole rook. We're actually up a rook and a pawn. We're up an exchange and a pawn. I'm thinking that's right. Let's give her a try. Okay, now D. Yep. Yep, nice work. You got it. You got it for sure. I think we'll probably end on this one. We'll get this one right. Let's see here. Okay, I'm looking at there's two candidate moves. There's F5, F6, or yep, we're doing good. F6 or bishop D6. But I think he's got enough material for the piece in that line, though. I think he's got enough. See, he's got, you gotta count. He's got 6 plus 5 is 11. He's got 11 for the piece. Let's see. But see, you have to remember, if we play the bishop move, we're still down material here. So we have to be wise with our move sequence here. So because we're down a whole piece. Knight takes. See, if we play knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, bishop d6. He's got f4 at that point. I guess we could win the knight back after he takes our rook. So maybe we are, let me see here. Let's see, we would have a rook and a queen for two, he'd have two rooks and a bishop. Is that enough? Are we, does he have too much material? Let's see, that would be, he'd have 4, he'd have 10, 16, we would have 9, 13. I think his material count would be too high if we tried F6. I think his material count would be way too high. He would have 3 pieces, actually 2 pieces and a rook for that. Would it be 3 pieces? I'm trying to figure this out because sometimes they throw those little kinks in the road. I'm thinking potentially bishop. Would bishop g5 be a good move too? Bishop g5 might not be a bad move. And then we'd be left with 2 rooks and a queen, and you have 2 rooks, a bishop. Or we'd have a rook and a bishop versus 2 rooks and 2 bishops. Boy, this is a tough one. Because this comes down to do we win enough material for our attack? What about bishop d6? That might be better off with bishop d6. See if we had bishop d6, f4, knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, bishop takes, then we have actually we have f6 in that line. And if he plays c5, then we play bishop takes e5, and if f takes e5, rook takes e5, and we pick up the queen. What do you think? You might be right. Let me see. Knight takes e5. Let me see. Bishop takes e5, f6. If the bishop left at that point, bishop d4, then we can actually he might play bishop c3, bishop c3. Then we have bishop takes b4, and we're winning at that point. I think you're right on knight takes e5, because if bishop takes e5 to try to equalize, we have f6. But we would have equal material at that point at the end, wouldn't we? So we would be back to equal material. There has to be something more we're missing. What do you guys think? Kind of stumped here. If we did the knight takes and f6 and all that, I'm not sure if he can just at that point, after f6 here, he might be able just to play queen c3, and then after f takes e5, I think we're equal material at that point. We I was looking at that bishop g5, queen e2, queen e2, f6, f4, f takes e5, and then bishop takes e5. And now he's up a whole pawn. He's up a whole pawn in that line. Oh boy, this gives some of these sometimes give me a headache. Because I think are we overthinking it again? What are you thinking, Morphe? Oh no, we need the whole team. We need the whole team. Let's see here. Something's telling me that bishop d6 might be the move. I'm thinking bishop d6 might be the move. The other moves don't work the way we like it. But let me see, bishop. Let's see, bishop d6, queen d2. Let's say queen d2. Bishop takes e5. Queen takes d8. Bishop takes c2. I mean b2, sorry. Bishop takes b2. Check. Queen takes e8. Check. Queen takes e8. not queen, sorry, rook takes e8 check, bishop e2, bishop takes a1, and I'm thinking we're up a whole piece in that line. What do you think, guys? Should we go with bishop d6? I'm thinking that's the move sequence. I guess that's the best I can do. I don't really see any. Let's give it a shot. So that's not it. Really? Oh, wow. Okay, let's see here. We'll have to hit it tomorrow. We'll pick it up tomorrow here. You know what? Okay. We went over all the lines, so that. Do you guys have any questions before I log off? You guys got any questions on the tough problems though? All right. Well, hey, you know what? We're learning, and that's what matters. Remember that life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. And remember that mistakes don't define you, that it's how you handle the mistake that defines you as a chess player and when you improve. There are no limits, there are plateaus, and we must not stay there. We must go beyond the plateau that we're at, and we're getting there. Some of those we have to remember because those are patterns that you'll be able to use in your games. We have to take what we know and apply it, and we have to be willing and do. We also have to remember that it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So if you come out of this experience learning, then you know what? That's a lot of power right there, and that's worth it. Especially when you're doing it over a board. If you're going to play over the board where those points count for your rating, it's better to do it and learn here, so that when you play over the board, you'll recognize, I remember that pattern, that it goes like this, this, and this, and then you'll be able to win a game, or maybe a piece, or save a game. Who knows? You might even get a brilliant prize, and in the tournament, and maybe win a prize. You can your game will be like one of those that they put in the magazines that others can learn from. That would be so great if that could be a game that we play like Morphe and those players of old. But one thing we gotta do is remember chess is fun. The Lord's given us a gift. We're not perfect. He's the only perfect, and that's the whole. I guess, as they say, bowl of oatmeal or whatever you want to say. The whole thing is that we have to keep that in mind that He's the reason, and the gifts that we've given, the 1, 2, and 5. We don't want to be like the 1 and hide our talent in the earth. We want to use that talent and bring honor to the Lord. And the 2 made 2, the 5 made 5, and at the very end, when the Lord of the Manor came, and that 1 had not done anything with its talent, his talent or her talent, or I'll just say their talent, they got thrown out, and that 1 talent was taken and given to the 10. So you have to make sure the talents the Lord's given you, that you take it and use it to help the chess community and others as well. And remember, when you win a game, you can always take your friend to the Skittles room and go over the game to help them improve, and also maybe they'll show you an idea that you might have overlooked and you can improve too. But like what we always do, we're artists on the chessboard. We design our portrait. That's our portrait. And how we think is like, I always remember what Bob Ross could make a tree come out of nowhere, and then he somehow, I don't know how he did it, but it was like I guess magical. I'll say magical because it just was so beautiful. After he was done, that tree belonged where it was supposed to be. Same thing with us. We need to make our pieces belong where they're supposed to be and make the position beautiful. Or as Jeremy Silman says, how can I make my position more wonderful? And we need to make our position, every move needs to make our position more wonderful and wonderful until we win the game. And then we get to show others and help them improve. But like what we always have to do, the first thing that a chess player has to do is hang up their coat, hang up their hat, sit down and study when most won't. We do, and that makes all the difference, my friends. Truly it does. And as Wesley So says through the Lord Jesus, as I say God bless, I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll keep on rising and make our patterns go, and we're going to learn. And the ones that we priorly went over, we will retrieve them from our memory bank and keep moving forward and having fun. Chess is fun. Go Team Chess Cruncher, hoorah, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Great job. Be blessed, and I'll see you.